Hey y'all, and welcome to Shade and the City. Oh, let me back up a little bit. It's all up in my I had it straight up in my face. But hey y'all, welcome. Happy Saturday to all of y'all. It is your girl Treese, and we are here to do the recap Friday's episode, the one that I didn't realize I knew it came on, it just wasn't available to me when I needed it to be. But I did watch it last night. It was good, of course. And so I'm ready to jump into it. And I didn't want to stay up late and drop a 2 a.m. recap for y'all. So I said I'll just wait until today. Okay. So yeah, y'all, if you have not already, please go ahead, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't already, and you liking the recaps, please make sure you subscribe as well. And y'all, let's jump right into this recap. And yeah. And y'all, I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't want to mess up the streak. We got a whole week. Blatant truth. Boo. A whole week of no DNA. I ain't even gonna say it because I don't want to mess it up. But it was none of them this week. And maybe this is why I enjoyed it so thoroughly. But yeah, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the recap. Let's get shady. All right, y'all. So now we know Kat has put a camera in the house, basically. Or I guess so I'm confused, y'all, because I guess Nicole's office is in her. I'd be real confused between the Richardson home and where Nicole's office actually is. Am I the only one that feels a little confusion about that? I don't know. Y'all drop down in the comments, let me know. But we know that she put the camera in there and she's basically waiting for Eva to expose herself. Not like Girls Gone Wild expose herself, like expose herself as the ops. You know what I'm saying? So then we see over at Bill's firm, the Hamilton firm, I believe. Is that the name of it? Who knows? But anyway, we see Haley walk past Bill's office and he's in there hugging some client and she gets jealous. And I said, okay. And so Bill walks out and tells his client that, no one needs to know that they were together until the time is right. His client, her name is Lorinda, says that, lying to her husband is her favorite pastime. And this is when I said, ooh, Haley, it lets you know, sweetheart, you were not special. At least in my opinion. That's what I got. And I think that's what she started to feel was, oh, I over here thought I was special because I hate to compare it to somebody else in the reality TV world, but you think you special taking somebody's husband and then you get them and it don't be what you thought it was. What is that saying? The grass always look greener. Anyway, I'll be quiet. So yeah. So then, she thanks him for handling her with care and sensitivity. I said, ooh, and says that their time together truly replenished her. I said, what did y'all do in that office? Jesus. So, once she leaves, Haley's there to confront him front and center, and Bill tries to kiss her, and she's like, nah. I don't think that's a good idea, especially after you being named in a lawsuit. And so Bill was like, I don't feel like the accusations aren't against me. So what does that have to do with me trying to give my wife a kiss? And so he's like, you know what? Fine. I'll just wait till we get home. He tells her that, look, by the way, Naomi's not dropping this lawsuit. And Bill says that, he's not stressed about it. If anything, he's stimulated. Okay. And I told y'all he likes this. He likes the toxic relationship. So he tries to kiss her again and she brushes him off. And he's like, look, why are you acting funny style? Like, what is the real thing? And she's like, I remember all those times that I stayed after hours and we were supposed to be working, but we were hunching. And so Haley says that she noticed his client making a few motions of her own. And so finally Bill realizes, he's like, oh, so you jealous. You jealous because you saw me with Lorinda. So he basically explains to Haley that Lorinda is going through a custody battle right now, I guess, with her current husband. And basically she doesn't want her kids to hate him like his kids do. And I said, she came in there and gave you her money after talking to you like that? That's weird. Okay. She don't want what happened to Bill to happen to her. So Haley feels like, well, that was low-key disrespectful. And that was a little too personal. Haley doesn't think that the kids hate him. Okay. She knows that they had a good relationship before she came into the picture. And tells Bill that he should have faith that things are going to work out. Okay. Bill thinks that even Chelsea might be unreachable, which is so weird because I felt like we saw him say something totally different last episode, but he's like, oh, I just don't know about Chelsea. And Haley's like, oh, she may reach out. And so he's like, oh, so you gonna go do something. He's like, I know that look on your face. I know it's giving you gonna go take it into your own hands. And this is what I was talking about. Haley, I really need you to just go sit in a corner somewhere. You got the ring. You stole the man. You broke up this family. You married. You got the house. Can you just sit in a corner somewhere? Now you out here trying to be world's #1 stepmom. Even though the stepdaughter is probably only a few years younger than you. But yet you want them to respect you. Girl, get out my face. All right. And so, he said that he reassures Haley that okay, so then they circle back to Lorinda after Bill brings her back up because he's talking about her and Haley ain't even really feeling it. And he's like, look, she's not my client. And basically, I'm just using this to take her down to court because after I listen to her woes and whatever, and after she disrespected me, then I got on the phone with her ex-husband and I offered my services, which Haley thinks is such a good idea. And that's why I said, y'all are both just very weird, strange, and love toxicity. And that's why y'all together. And that's why you about to be a throuple with Danny because she can't let go of it either. But we're going to get into that. So then we see Eva. She's trying to get in contact with Leslie, but she keeps getting her voicemail. She sees Nicole's office is open. So she's about to go in. And Nicole's like, oh, well, what are you doing here so late? Okay. So Nicole lets her know that she's there to submit a last minute authorization before she meets Kat and Ted for dinner. Nicole invites Eva along, and Eva immediately brings up how Kat isn't going to want her there because we know Kat don't see it for her. And I ain't even going to hold you. I was kind of looking at Nicole sideways. If my daughter invites me to dinner or my child in general, what I'm not doing is now inviting, like, it. Does anybody else see what I'm saying? What I'm not doing is now inviting the person that you don't like. I don't care if they work for me or not. You don't like them. I don't know. That was just so weird to me, y'all. So, but I guess her being peacemaker, therapist, I don't know, but that was weird. Why would you hang out with someone you don't like? And Nicole admits, you know what? You're right. Kat don't like you. So it's probably not the best idea. And so she asked her if she's heard anything about the server that got fired from the banquet. And Eva says that no, I wasn't, I didn't hear anything. And Nicole tells her that before she leaves, don't worry about Kat, and tells her that, everyone sees her value, her, Ted, and the entire family outside of Kat. Okay. Then we see Anna, Leslie, Dana, Sherry. Okay, because now we got so many different personalities going on. Okay. But Ted confronted her last episode. That's where we left off. And so outside, after I guess he had finished seeing her talk to Kat. So she tells Ted that he ain't got nothing to worry about, and she was just having a friendly conversation with Kat. Kat. Lord. And so she tells him if he doesn't believe her, they can always, go ask her together, which of course upsets Ted. And then she lets him know that if I were you, I probably wouldn't refer to me as Dana. Because Kat knows me as Anna. I said, girl. And and said that your real concern should be that baby we made. And then I said, so Ted does know. I don't know if anybody paused like I paused, but I think I can only speak for me. I know some of y'all in the comments, y'all already was like, nah, Ted is not who y'all think he is. Like, or we wanted to blame it on the twin or the twin brother or something like that, right? So I ain't even gonna hold you. I was so shocked that, like, oh, so you knew that there was a baby and you still didn't give a damn. And well, you know what? Actually, let me take that back. They made a baby, right? So Ted asks why she's bringing up old drama and tells her it was like more than a lifetime ago. Dana tells him that he thought he could just ship her off like a dirty little secret, like their history meant nothing. And Ted tells her it was nothing but trouble. And then Dana tells him that she got the deletion. And you already know what we can't say over here, but y'all know what I'm saying. She got the deletion like he told her. Okay. So I guess to that point, Ted is not as terrible because he told her to go to get a deletion. And so obviously she had Eva and never said anything. But even still, I was just like, damn, Ted. Damn, Ted. At this point, they do need to recast you because I don't even see you the same no more. But anyway, Dana lets him know that she knows Nicole is on the way and she can wait around and see how she feels about the situation. So Ted asks her, look, what is it going to take to get you out my life so you ain't got to be popping up in just real strange places around my family? And she's like, well, what are you willing to offer? So Ted is like, okay, is this about money? And why did she do her whole he's like, if this is about money, why did you do this whole unaliving attempt on the top of the roof and you're showing up at my wife's events? Like, why all that? And Dana says that every time they've talked, he's never asked what she wants. And Ted knows that she just wants to destroy his life at this point. So Dana asks if he wants a routing number or a cash app. Ted said, I'm not stupid. I know you and I know your type. I'm not leaving no paper trail. So if I give you money, it's gonna be cash or nothing at all. And so Dana tells him she wants 50K. And he's obviously outraged at the amount. But he agrees to pay her, and he says he has the same lawyer on speed dial, the one that made her leave last time. And my notes say, and I don't know if anybody else thought this, my notes say it's probably Bill. It's probably Bill. Y'all drop down in the comments if you think I'm wrong. But because we know Bill was in the family trying to work himself up, I'm sure they went to him for business. And because he knew Bill was a little sloppy and cheating and stepping out on Danny, I think that if he trusted anybody to hold that secret and get him out that situation, I absolutely can see it being Bill. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. And basically he lets her know we're done here. Okay. Adios, arrivederci, whatever you want to say, whether it's be for Anna, Sherry, Dana, Leslie, we're done. Okay. So Martin and Smitty, they're shocked because we know Tyrell had came home and he got a black eye. And so Tyrell says that he had a wipeout on his bike. Samantha is over here co-signing the bull and is trying to defend him. And Martin is like, well, are you really covering for your brother? So basically Tyrell's like, I just want to be left alone. And, so he goes back upstairs and Martin tells Samantha that he wants to talk to her. So Smitty goes to check on Tyrell and he's, patching up his wounds or whatever. And they reminisce on when he first wiped out on his bike and Tyrell tells him, basically that he's not listening. Because I think that Smitty kept trying to press, like, this doesn't really seem like a wipeout injury. And like, this looks a little different. And, that kind of pissed, like Tyrell just wants them to leave it alone because he's not ready to talk about it. And so Martin asked Samantha for some help, but, she's remaining loyal and she's not saying a word about what's going on with her brother. So Smitty comes down and lets him know that Tyrell has nothing to say. And Martin said, and neither does Samantha, right? So Martin's really worried and feels like, it's weighing on Tyrell, whatever this is. And Samantha is caught in the middle. And after listening to a conversation with Samantha and Tyrell, we figure out that he's being bullied. Martin and Smitty are still trying to get to the bottom of it, as they're, talking about, well, what's going to happen? Obviously, there's something going on with the kids. We need to be more present. Martin and Smitty are going back and forth, and they're like, well, what are we going to do? The kids obviously need us, and you're getting ready to go back to work full time. Obviously, Martin's already busy. So how do we? So I guess the agreement was, because Smitty said, I'm going to take this job, but they both agree that they're going to make an effort to make sure that they're there for study and dinner hours, so they can basically give their kids a little bit more attention and find out what's really going on. Okay. Um, then we see Doug and Vanessa. They meet up at Uptown. He lets her know that basically right now has a very busy work schedule and he won't be seeing much of him. She won't be seeing much of him. And I was like, that's not weird at all. And so then Kat is at Uptown trying to decide what she's going to order as she's waiting on her parents. Ted notices her watching her phone, basically. And so she slips up and says that she's waiting on a text from Chelsea, but says Eva instead. And so Ted is like, well, that's weird because you can't stand Eva. I'm surprised that, you would even slip up and say her name, because I know you really don't see it for her. So Ted does kind of tell her, like, look, I think you should ease up on Eve a little bit. I don't know why you're so hard on her. And Kat says, you'll find out soon. Poor Kat, poor Colby. Ted is basically trying to tell Kat to ease up on Eva and tries to convince her to, you need to give people a chance and not be so quick to rush to judgment. So then Nicole walks in and she sees Doug and Vanessa. And she tells Doug that she hasn't seen him in a while. And so Vanessa said, well, that's funny because he's at the hospital morning, noon, and night. And so Nicole is shocked because she's like, I'm surprised we don't run into each other. And then this, I ain't even gonna hold you, this kind of made me turn my nose up at Doug when he was like, yeah, surgeons don't really run with therapists. Well, Ted is there all the damn time. And he seems like he runs into his wife. I mean, obviously because he's trying to see her, but yeah, no, I was like, oh, the nerve of Doug. Okay. So Nicole, she don't think nothing of it. And she tells him they need to double date at the country club. And then once she leaves, we see Joey Armstrong roll up. I said, Jesus, surprise, surprise. Okay. He tells Vanessa that he looked at some of the homes she recommended for his mother, and he did like a few. So he's now ready to go see them. And so Vanessa invites him to sit down and join them. And Doug is like, no. I think Joey has better things to do. Armstrong declines the invitations, and then he declines the invitation and tells Doug to cherish his queen before he leaves. And so then Vanessa gets on Doug about how he treated Joey, and Doug tells her he doesn't want to be associated with someone of his reputation. Isn't that funny? And Doug tells her, and so basically she's like, oh, well, that's really weird that you're judging him. And basically he was like, all right, bitch, don't say I didn't warn you. And then he says he's leaving to go to the hospital. And we all know that means AKA code word casino. Okay. And meanwhile, Kat is, across the way. She's telling her parents about the purse line, and how she still intends on supporting her father's practice until they blow up, of course. Then when they want to see the designs, Kat's like, oh no, I want to show you on my tablet because my phone doesn't do it justice. But we know Kat is completely focused on her phone, and to a point that she almost gave it away. Because like I said, I really feel like, and I guess maybe I was wrong, but I definitely felt like Anna, Leslie, Sherry clocked it last recap. But hey, Eva finally falls for the bait. She goes into Nicole's home office files, whatever. She opens it up, pulls the file for Sherry Carter. She's reading through it. Kat gets it on camera. She gets excited about it. Her phone dies, so she jumps up and she abruptly leaves in the middle of dinner and tells them that she'll meet them at the house because she needs a phone charger. And they don't really understand what the hell is going on. And then, they both talk about like, oh, and talk about their upcoming anniversary party, how they celebrated so many years together. And I think really the only important part from that scene was we learned that I guess they had Martin and they were good, or at least Ted was good, right? And she says that, I guess maybe one of the challenging times for them in their marriage was because she wanted another baby, which ended up being Kat. So obviously they got through it. And I wonder if this is when he kind of dipped out on her a little bit, because we know Eva and Kat clearly aren't too far off in age, or at least that's what they're leading us to believe. So I don't know, but he talks about how, like he's happy they got through it, and he feels like he got the perfect family. So then we go over to Lakeview, which is the casino. So we now got a name for the casino. Joey is giving Randy a deck of cards to throw Doug off and, make him lose his money. All right. Of course, Randy doesn't want to do it. He has his reservations because we know him and Doug are real good friends from back in the day. Doug walks into the casino and thanks Joey for his discretion around Vanessa. Randy tries to convince him not to play, and Doug is insistent on playing, right? So Joey then confronts Randy and is like, oh, so you was trying to tell your boy to go home. You was trying to tell him otherwise. And he basically lets him know, look, this is the last and final warning. I don't care what relationships y'all had prior to him coming in this casino and us having our deal. And next time you get in the way of me getting my money or somebody owing me some money, we're going to have a problem. And I said, well, and I mean, I ain't even mad at it because Joey done already told Randy that. And Randy gonna end up losing his life. I don't know what y'all think, but I absolutely think Randy is gonna end up, and because his character is just so like minimal, but he's gonna end up losing his life trying to protect Doug. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. That's a prediction. I'm put it in your basket. Put the little nugget in the basket. Okay. So if I'm wrong, I have no I'll come out here and say I was wrong. Okay. So then finally, Eva spots the camera and realizes that she's caught. So then we hear she's trying to run out of the Richardson home, but Kat is walking in the door at the same time, looking for her, calling her, what she call her, a basic B. I said, oh, Kat. And so she, is hiding behind a wall, and Kat is walking around the house looking for her. So she takes this opportunity when Kat walks out the room to run out of the house. But before she runs out the house, she makes sure she looks at that phone and she deletes that video. And so then we see Ted and Nicole come home and they want to know why the hell Kat ran out like that. And she tells them that, she caught Eva sneaking in her mother's files and all this other stuff. And then of course, yeah, we end up realizing that, yeah, there's nothing on the phone because she's erased it. All right. And then once Eva finally gets home, she Leslie lets her know that she missed quite the show. Okay. She tells her that, about her run-in with Ted and how he offered to pay her off, which obviously hurts Eva. And this is why I say these two are going to start, because they have two different motives. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I think Leslie still wants Ted and wants the lifestyle to a certain extent? But if she can take the money, she could give a damn about Ted, I think. Where the difference is Eva doesn't even want the money necessarily. Do I think she wants a lifestyle? But I just think she wants to be his daughter. I don't think if Ted wasn't rich, I don't even think she would care. I think she just wants a relationship with her father. Y'all can tell me if y'all disagree. But Leslie still plans to embarrass him at the anniversary party. Eva, after all this is said and done, is at home celebrating because she got a one-up on Kat. And she's just like, you not ready for this smoke. And I ain't even gonna hold y'all. When we first started this journey beyond the gates, I was not a major fan of, I can't remember her name right, like her real name. I wasn't a crazy fan of her acting. And I don't know if it's because that's how they brought her character in, because she wasn't a part of the, you know what I mean? I don't know. But when I tell you it has got, at least to me, it's gotten much better. And it's great. And I'm actually even, Eva makes a great, the character you love to hate. She absolutely does. And I love that she is really falling into that role, whereas Haley can't seem to get it right. Haley can't seem to get it right. But yeah, y'all, that was the episode. It was egg on Kat's face. So and yeah, because I don't know if anything, Kat looked crazy, and I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Nicole puts her through some type of mental evaluation at this point. So, and then I think that there's also, I don't know, there's clearly some underlying stuff going on with Nicole and Kat. I think that she loves her daughter, but I think it's weird how she extends herself to so many people, and so, but I feel like when it comes to Kat, she just kind of, I don't know, brushes her off, ignores her. I don't know, it's weird. Um, yeah. So, but anyway, I hope everyone is enjoying their Saturday. It is about 85 degrees here in the good old DMV. When I tell you we got kids in pools, like that's how warm it is. And it feels good. I'm happy, even though I still got the heater on here on my feet. Don't judge. But anyway, so yeah, y'all. So I hope y'all have a wonderful, beautiful, safe weekend. Enjoy the weather if it's nice wherever you are. And yeah, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I will catch you on Monday for another recap of Beyond the Gates. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye bye.